hello, everybody. How's it going? It is Matt, and it is Bloodthirsty Thursday already. Holy smokes. It's hard to believe this week is just flying by. Before I roll on to anything else, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk. All that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a really huge favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when I am here. I know it's an awful lot, but I have an awful lot to review on my plate. And one last little tidbit of information. Check out the description box. I give you your brief synopsis, your starring cast, your directors, your runtime of the cut I am watching, along with a link for a trailer, a link for where you can watch it, and a link for where you can purchase it. And if you do decide, you can help support the channel and toss me a couple of bucks, and it helps buy new props for the set. And it also helps buy new movies and whatnot. You know, it all goes towards Matt's movie mania. So if you decide to help out, that would be greatly appreciated. And I hope that all of you are tuning in and going to check out today's review. Which today's review came out back in 2019. It is none other than the Joe Sherlock, Filip, I don't remember your last name, Joe and John. You guys all did amazing jobs directing this. Filip is just a young man when he directed this, when he directed his segment known as Boris. But I'm not going to get onto Boris just yet. I'm going to start out with The Doll, which is the very first segment directed by both John and Joe. They did a fantastic job with this one. Basically what happens is a girl is going through a nasty breakup. She wakes up one morning and she finds a box on her door with no address, no return address, no names, no nothing on it, just a plain box that is taped up. She brings it inside, opens it up, and she finds a very creepy, ugly-looking little doll. This segment is very good. Honestly, all the segments in this are really good. There's no like stinkers in the whole bunch. I'm very pleased to have watched this. But this doll is cursed, and when left alone, it does things, and it moves around, it gets up, it rocks in the rocking chair. It at one point kills our main girl, and you find out that it's all just a setup from the ex's friend, which was her friend as well, who happened to be visiting earlier in the story to pick up the friend's belongings, that the ex-girlfriend's belongings that they both share friendship with. It has that nice little twist on it. I really liked that. I kind of saw part of it coming, but I didn't expect it to be her. I expected it to be the ex-girlfriend of all people, but it definitely was not. But very, very good segment. And then we roll on to, I believe, Boris was next. That was directed by young Filip. Hanzek, I think is his last name, now that I think of it. Young Filip is a director from Croatia. And his segment has to do with people that move into a house where Boris once lived. Boris, as he was growing up, he got into very dark and scary, horrific type things. He got into spells and incantations, and one day he dies and his family disappears. Fast forward, and we have Petra, who is our newest person living at the house, and she is always getting cold whenever Boris is around, which Boris is played by Filip. Filip does a good job with this, and I really appreciated his segment a lot. I thought that it was done really well for somebody his age. He definitely knows what he's doing behind the camera and in front of the camera as well. And so you fast forward, and Boris takes Petra away, and then we have new people moving in, and they are having a monster movie night of watching horror movies, and they're all kind of like spooked out and stuff, and they decide they're going to do a seance. And during the seance, it brings Boris in, and Boris makes them all disappear as well. End of segment. Very, very well done. Then you roll on to Out of the Corner of Your Eye, which was by far my favorite segment of all of them. It's about a writer who just so happened to, she writes about a lot of like very, very deep, dark things, cryptid type stuff, mythological type stuff, H.P. Lovecraftian type stuff. As a matter of fact, there's nods to H.P. Lovecraft in it as well, and I think that they did a fantastic job with it, and I am very, very happy that I saw this segment as well. She becomes friends with I forget what the character's name is, but he's played by Seamus. Who is a Joe Sherlock regular. And then the writer is played by Julie Neyman Jones, who always does great in Joe's films. But Jackie Neyman Jones, I'm sorry, not Julie, Jackie. Jackie does a fantastic job in this as well. Seamus befriends her. He has a little podcast, and he does a nice little interview with her, and they become very chummy, buddy like. You later find out that one of Jackie's friends, Frank, is in possession of a very mysterious book that was sent to her. She goes to visit Frank, and Frank is dead and completely rotten, and Seamus meets her there. They eventually go back to the house. They're going to do some work inside the book. They're going to look at things in it, and they're going to do a little ritual type thing for it. You find out that Seamus's girlfriend is up to no good. She kills Seamus. She goes after Jackie. She fails miserably because there is a spell that she put inside the book herself, and it leads on to more further things that are happening with the book. It is a very, very cool story. And then you roll over to Assisted Living. Assisted Living is a fun one. It's got one of my favorite Joe Sherlock regulars, Richard Johnson, in it. He's always funny and great in every single thing he does with Joe. I always look for him or the guy who plays the Birch character, Dale. I forget Dale's last name right now. I'm terrible with names, but he's basically what is going on is he's kind of an invalid almost. He can't do things for himself. It's very hard for him to get around. He has to use a walker, and all the while he is constantly hitting and flirting with Roxy Mountains to get her to do sexual favors for him. Eventually she falls for it, and once he brings up the word cash, she goes in balls deep, literally. But it gets very, very interesting from there. Just when you think things are going to go one direction, you find out that Richard Johnson's character is definitely a bad guy. He is kind of a vampire type. He kills Roxy and drinks her blood. Blah 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 blah. You later see him, and he's feeling fine and dandy. And come to the next day, he's got a new nurse, new live-in nurse, and she is asking about Roxy's character and about how she disappeared so like sudden, and how weird that is of her, because she doesn't do things of that nature. Um, she has a nice little surprise in for Richard Johnson, which involves the hot tub and him being outside in his chair. He does the same mo with her as he does with Roxy. The constant like flirting. She's giving him a sponge bath, and has happened to apologize for getting a boner. He says that to both of them during bath time. And that's when things go south, and he suggests that she get in the hot tub, and it goes from there. Then we go on to The Hunter. The Hunter is a very cool story as well. It involves a woman going hitchhiking in the backwoods. Oh, I forgot a story in there, but I'll go ahead with The Hunter. But The Hunter is there's a woman going hiking in the backwoods, and she is stopped by this person that says that there's a monster out there. You can't go, you got to stay with me, I'm here to help you and save you, one of those ordeals. Eventually you see the monster, and the monster is really cool looking. The hunter kills the monster, blah, 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 or stuns the monster, essentially, shoots it and stuns it, takes it back aboard the alien craft, and heads back to whatever planet they're in. And that's the end of the movie. But I forgot one segment, and I forget the name of the segment. I think it was called Bath, if memory serves me. But it involves two women that are out seeing a movie, and they are having some drinks afterwards, and all the while there is a character, a woman that has been basically lurking behind them the entire time, and basically listening in on all of their conversations, so that when she goes to talk to them, she's like, oh hey, I'm into this and that and this, and they're like, oh well, how be damned, so are we, and so is she, and things of that nature, so she can get close to them. She follows our main character home, and she at one point during their meeting together at the bar, when they met, they're talking about what careers they do, and our stalker killer, serial killer, is into skincare, and she doesn't really go into too much information on that, other than she has a lab, and she does testing at her own house. And so you find out what it is she's using for skincare, and it is blood. Very cool story as well. Bath really definitely delivers on all aspects on that one. Now, on to the three things I like my films to meet. Audio on every segment is gold, even on the indoors and the outdoor scenes, because sometimes shooting outdoors can be very rough on audio. You never know what the elements are going to do, whether it be a windy day, or whether you have some pesky neighbor deciding they're going to mow their lawn while you're filming. Um, so you have all kinds of things that you have to take in effect for when that happens, when you're filming outside or just filming in general, because you got to have the set as quiet as possible, and have your performances done at such a good level that you find them worthy of your vision. And I feel like the audio delivers on that, and it gets an A plus as usual. Joe's films always have great production value. They never skimp on things. Granted, they are low budget. They are B movies, but they are A list in my heart. They are so well made, and so much passion and love, you can tell, is put into each and every one of his projects, and I really respect that out of Joe, and also the other filmmakers involved in here, because I feel like all four of them did a superb job with all of their stories. I can't really say anything negative or bad about the audio, so it gets, like I said, an A plus on that. On to dialogue. Dialogue varies on each and every one of these, but it is all fun, hip, neat, cool. It's jargon I understand. I definitely feel like there was some very good dialogue delivered in here, along with some great performances as well. There is not a dog in the bunch, as I like to say. It definitely delivers on all aspects on the dialogue, so I'm going to give it an A plus there. Now on to editing. Editing is very crisp and very clean, especially when you're cutting together different filmmakers' films and to make one big long film. To make an anthology, it sometimes can really affect things, because the tone changes so much so often that it can really affect the momentum at times. Sometimes it can really do that, but this one does not. It definitely delivers on all aspects, and I like the fact that Joe Sherlock did, I think he did 3 segments out of this. I think there was 5 segments, or maybe 6 segments in total. But either way, he did a majority of the segments, and I really am a huge fan of Joe, and I am now a huge fan of Filip, and both John and the other Joe. I feel like you guys all are just phenomenal at what you did with this, and Dark Zone 13, it definitely gets an A plus on the editing as well. So we got 3 A pluses. Is this going to get the 5? It's a 4.9999. I really like this. Each week I go into a new Joe Sherlock film, and I love them. I love his films more and more every time. They just speak to me and really have a great impact. So I highly recommend you guys run on out and check out Dark Zone 13. It gets that 5.999999, so we'll just say 5.5 out of 5 and call it good. I'm going to get the hell out of here. I hope you guys tune in tomorrow for another review, and then Saturday I will be having an interview with Adam Trey of the Sawyer Massacre Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan film. So look forward for that for Saturday. And as always, I love your faces. And peace. Oh.